नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल हमने नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ अर्बन अफेयर्स के साथ लाइव किया था, जहां पे हमने G20, Y20 एंड अर्बन 20 प्लेटफॉर्म्स में हमारे फिनाले को रिप्रेजेंट किया था. This journey is really been a outstanding journey for all of us to hear our youth talking about the urban governance, the challenges from their respective cities. I'm happy to share, जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा, आज हमारे साथ में इस प्रजातंत्र फेस्टिवल में इस बार 343 रजिस्टर्ड टीम है, जिनका रिप्रेजेंटेशन है हमारे जम्मू एंड कश्मीर से लेकर केरला स्टेट तक, गुजरात से लेकर अरुणाचल प्रदेश तक. आप सब देख सकते हैं कि इवन आज के इस नॉलेज सेशन में द पार्टिसिपेंट्स आर फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स. दे आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग देयर कॉलेजेस, देयर सिटीज, and also are here to understand more about municipal finance. With that, I welcome our speakers for the day, Dr. Debaprita Roy and Dr. Ravikant Joshi. It's my honor to host you in today's knowledge session. To start with the introduction, I welcome Dr. Debaprita Roy. Dr. Debaprita Roy is a fellow at the Center for Social and Economic Progress, New Delhi. She has co-authored 2 reports on municipal finance for the 15th Finance Commission. She holds PhD in economics and also published several working papers in international journals, and also very actively participating in dialogues and researches on urban governance. We welcome you, ma'am, in the knowledge session. With that, I also welcome our dearest Dr. Ravikant Joshi. I hope you all know about him. Dr. Ravikant Joshi is an urban finance and management specialist. He is a former Chief Accountant Officer of Vadodara Municipal Corporation. He holds more than 20 years of experience. He has been responsible for the conceptualizing, designing, and implementation of innovative, indigenous, and first of its kind municipal finance, budgetary resource mobilization, and accounting system reforms, and their computerization in Vadodara Municipal Corporation. We welcome you, sir. On behalf of Prajatantra team, we welcome both of you. आज के इस नॉलेज सेशन में हम चाहेंगे आपसे समझना और डिटेल में म्युनिसिपल फाइनेंस को. जस्ट टू सेट द कंटेक्स्ट, जैसे मैंने कहा, प्रजातंत्र फेस्टिवल में हम स्टूडेंट्स को, अलग अलग टीम्स को ये मौका देते हैं. दे फॉर्म देयर टीम्स एंड रिप्रेजेंट एज एन इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव to form, act as a mayor of a city, जहां पे वो अपने as mayor अपनी गवर्नमेंट, अपनी सिटी के लिए विजन प्रिपेयर करते हैं. हम उनको मौका देते हैं कि वो अपने एज अ चेयरपर्सन ऑफ द कमिटी, वो अपने सिटी के लिए म्युनिसिपल फाइनेंस बजट डॉक्यूमेंट्स को रीड करते हुए बजट के पेश करने की तैयारी कर सकें. साथ ही साथ ऑल पॉलिसी, जैसे अर्बन इकोनॉमिक्स के ऊपर हमने इस बार पॉलिसी कंपटीशन रखा है, हम उनको ये मौका देना चाहते हैं कि वो समझें और अपने सिटी के लिए पॉलिसी प्रिपेयर करें. Also, there are several other competition like debate competition, जहां पे वो different policy components पे discussion करेंगे और अपने अपने cities का representative करेंगे. Then we have quiz competition other. आज का topic municipal finance पे है, जो कि cross cutting theme है for all the competition. So that's why आज का session is very much important. And also with that, I know and wanted to hand over this place to Debaprita ji to give us an idea about what is municipal finance. क्या है बेसिक्स हमारे म्युनिसिपल फाइनेंस के. आपको जैसे पता है, सारे बच्चे कहीं ना कहीं डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड से हैं. कोई इंजीनियरिंग कर रहा है, कोई हेल्थ प्रैक्टिशनर है, कोई आर्ट्स बैकग्राउंड से है. पर आज इस नॉलेज सेशन के थ्रू हम आज सब समझेंगे कि एक्चुअली में फाइनेंस होता क्या है, अर्बन सिटी गवर्नमेंट अपने फाइनेंसेस को कैसे देखती है. So with that, I'll just start with requesting Debaprita Roy to take the floor, and then Ravikant sir to take the session ahead. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Aviral. It gives me immense pleasure. This is my 3rd year that I have been associated with Prajatantra, and every year seeing the growing number of participants and more so the growing enthusiasm जो है हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स में, इट इज वेरी वेरी रियश्योरिंग हमारे लिए कि हाँ, हमारे सिटीज में इंटरेस्टेड इतने सारे बच्चे हैं और यही हमें हमारे शहरों को आगे जाते हुए चलाएंगे. इतना इंटरेस्ट, लेकिन हम में इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं था जब हम आपके एज के थे. हमें पता भी नहीं था कि हाँ एक अर्बन लोकल गवर्नमेंट ऐसा होता है। ठीक है, सुना है कि मैं दिल्ली में रहती हूँ तो एमसीडी होता है, एनडीएमसी होता है, बट वो करता क्या है? ठीक है, सफाई करता है रोड का, इतना पता है, बट उसके बियॉन्ड पता नहीं था। सो इट इज सो first of all, it's an amazing thing that Praja Foundation is doing, that getting you all on this platform, getting us on this platform where we can share our ideas, where we can talk about the very important topic of cities, not only the importance from our perspective, but from the perspective of the national economy, from the perspective of global climate change and things. So हमारे देश की में करीब अभी 8,000 कुछ शहर हैं एज पर द सेंसस 2011। पॉसिबली ये बढ़ के शायद 9,000 या 9,500 जितना भी अब अगले सेंसस में होगा। उसमें से बहुत ही कम यहाँ पे एज पर सेंसस 2011 209 थे, बट अभी शायद 250 है। म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन होते हैं जो कि बड़े शहरों के जो कॉर्पोरेशंस होती है, जिनके बारे में आपने शायद इससे पहले के नॉलेज सेशन में भी आपने समझा है कि कॉर्पोरेशन का गवर्नेंस कैसे होता है, ये होता है। अदर देन दैट म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल होती है और नगर पंचायत होता है या टाउन पंचायत होता है। अब हो सकता है कि आप में से कोई ऐसे शहर में रहता हो जो कि म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल के द्वारा गवर्नड हो या नगर पंचायत के द्वारा गवर्नड हो, और इन तीनों में अंतर है। Now, State Municipal Act basically defines that अगर एक certain size का जो शहर है उस पे म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन होगा। यूजुअली वो 50 लाख या ऊपर का शहर होता है। म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल होता है 1 लाख या 50,000 से लेके 5 लाख तक, और नगर पंचायत 50,000 से छोटा। तो आपके शहर कौन गवर्न कर रहा है, राइट? अगर आप यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ अ अर्बन एग्लोमरेशन, you are part of a wider big city which is made up of smaller cities and villages and maybe smaller towns around the city, be aware of that also, of the geography that you are part of first of all. Then हमारे लिए लोकल गवर्नमेंट जो हमारा म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन है या म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल है करता क्या है आपके लिए, राइट? लार्जली जो उसका सबसे मेन फंक्शन है हमारे सारे शहरों में वो है सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट। ठीक है, हमारा जो घर का जो कूड़ा कचरा जो हम होता है या इंडस्ट्रीज की होती है उसको कैसे मैनेज करना है। ठीक है, अदर देन दैट ऑफ कोर्स हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है इट सेज देयर आर 17 अदर rather functions which a ULB can discharge, but it depends on the state government कि state government में ULB आपके म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन को कितना एम्पावर किया है कि आप कौन से फंक्शन करेंगे। काफी सारे फंक्शन ऐसा होता है जैसे कि अर्बन प्लानिंग, जो यूजुअली अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें बैंगलोर जो हमारे बड़े शहर है उसमें म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन का भी एक फंक्शन है, और पैरास्टेटल जो होता है जो एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी होती है जो कि डायरेक्टली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को रिपोर्ट करती है, वो अर्बन प्लानिंग के क्षेत्र में वो यूजुअली डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी होता है। जैसे मान लीजिए दिल्ली डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी हो गया या गाजियाबाद डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी हो गया एक्सेट्रा। बट ये है कि म्यूनिसिपल प्लानिंग का फंक्शन म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के अंदर भी आता है, बट जब एक्चुअल में होने जाता है तो वो अर्बन प्लानिंग और डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी करता है क्योंकि वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का एजेंसी है, एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज मोर पावरफुल देन द लोकल गवर्नमेंट, राइट? सो बी वेरी अवेयर कि आपका जो म्यूनिसिपल आपका जो शहर है उसमें क्या क्या फंक्शन एक्चुअली ऑन पेपर दिया गया है और एक्चुअली वो क्या क्या इन रियलिटी डिस्चार्ज करता है। क्या वो सच में अगर अर्बन प्लानिंग है, मान लीजिए अगर आप चेन्नई से है और अर्बन प्लानिंग इज देयर एज अ पार्ट ऑफ द under the list of functions that the municipal corporation is going to do, Chennai municipal corporation is going to discharge, but क्या उसने किया है? How does it really work with the development authority of Chennai on that, or is it something that it is not involved in at all? So be aware of that. Coming back to municipal finance, now given that that you see that even by जो functions दिए गए हैं वो भी हम discharge नहीं कर पाते या there is state government agency to do it because the municipal government, the state government feels the municipal government is not able to do it. इट ऑल्सो हैज अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑन द फाइनेंसेस, और रादर चिकन एंड एग वाली स्टोरी होगी कि फाइनेंसेस कम है इसलिए नहीं कर पाते, या हमारे पास कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है इसीलिए हम नहीं कर पाते, और हमारे फाइनेंसेस भी वीक है इसीलिए हम पैसा भी इकट्ठा कलेक्ट नहीं कर पाते। तो हमारे देश का जो म्युनिसिपल फाइनेंस जो टोटल है वो भी काफी पुअर है। एज पर सब 2012 सेंट्रल स्टैटिस्टिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एस्टिमेट, about 50 cities contributed, urban India and all the cities together contributed about 52% of India's GDP. Now, ministry का ही estimate है कि now that number is possibly close to 65%. But अगर आप ये चार्ट देखें, वहां पे आप देखेंगे कि टोटल म्युनिसिपल रिसीट जो है, रेवेन्यू जो है, जो म्युनिसिपल जो पैसा जो म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस, काउंसिल्स और नगर पंचायत के पास आता है वो सिर्फ 1% ऑफ जीडीपी है। ठीक है, कहाँ शहर 60 लगभग 60% ऑफ द जीडीपी इज ड्यू टू इज ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ द सिटीज, और खर्चा कितना लोकल गवर्नमेंट के पास है करने के लिए 1%। ठीक है, नाउ ऑफ कोर्स इसमें पैरास्टेटल्स भी खर्चा करते हैं, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी भी खर्चा करते हैं, बट डेटा का ये सिचुएशन है कि हमें नहीं पता कि वो 1% है, 2% है, 3% है, 4% है। एस्टिमेट्स है कि हाँ करीब मिला के, दोनों मिला के शायद 3 से 4% में भी खर्चा होता है, बट इवन देन 4% एंड 60% इज योर सिटीज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन टू योर जीडीपी, बहुत नाइंसाफी है, राइट? तो यही आपको समझना है आपके सिटी के लेंस से, और आपको इस जो गुत्थी है इसको आपको सुलझाना है। नाउ कमिंग टू द म्युनिसिपल रिसीट कंपोनेंट्स, व्हाट आर द कंपोनेंट्स? जो मेरे घर में, जो मेरा हाउस होल्ड जो चलता है, मेरा इनकम है, मेरे हस्बैंड का इनकम है, राइट, या किसी का पेंशन आ रहा है, कुछ है, म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के पास क्या है? एक है ओन रेवेन्यू। ओन रेवेन्यू ये होता है जो कि म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन खुद कलेक्ट करता है। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट उसमें होता है प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स। ये आप बहुत अवेयर हो जाइए कि आपके शहर में प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन जो आपका गवर्नमेंट, लोकल गवर्नमेंट है, वो कलेक्ट करता है, नहीं करता है, राइट? उसकी आमदनी क्या है, बढ़ रही है, घट रही है? हाउ हैज द रेट्स बीन रिवाइज्ड? व्हाट इज द फ्लोर is the rate of property tax in your city above the floor rate, or does it has the state government given a floor rate, etc. बाकी भी कुछ टैक्स होते हैं, प्रोफेशन टैक्स होता है, एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स होता है, ऑक्ट्रॉय कुछ पहले एक बहुत भारी भरकम, इट वाज अ ह्यूज कंपोनेंट ऑफ द टैक्स रेवेन्यू म्युनिसिपल, बट दैट हैज गॉन अवे विद जीएसटी। देन आता है नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू, या जो आप यूजर चार्जेस जो सिटीजन्स अपने यूएलबीज को देती, म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस को देती है। अपने पानी, आपको म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन पानी सप्लाई कर रहा है तो पानी का पैसा, आपका अगर सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेज कर रही है तो उसका आप एक फीस देते हैं, बट इसका भी जो कलेक्शन है इट्स वेरी पुअर। जो रेगुलर जो अगर आपका किसी खाते में, राइट, आपके जो रेवेन्यू जो सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करने में आपका अगर 100 रुपए खर्च होता है ऑन ए डेली बेसिस, और ये नहीं कि आपका फिजिकल एसेट उसके जनरेशन की नहीं, वो उसकी बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, सैलरीज पे जाता है, या जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का खर्चा है, रेगुलर जो खर्चा पानी जो होता है, उसका भी 100 रुपए खर्च होता है, तो उसका सिर्फ 20 रुपए सिटीजन से कलेक्ट हो पाता है, कि होना चाहिए 100%। ठीक है, तो इसीलिए जो म्युनिसिपैलिटीज के पास जो अपना जो पैसा होता है वो कम होता है, तो उनको सपोर्ट चाहिए होती है। वो सपोर्ट आता है लार्जली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ट्रांसफर्स। ठीक है, ट्रांसफर्स में भी अब 2 पार्ट्स है जो आपको अवेयर होना है व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग योर द सिटी बजट। कुछ आता है कि रेगुलर डे टू डे एक्सपेंडिचर, सैलरीज हो गया, पेंशंस हो गया, या डे टू डे लाइक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चार्जेस हो गए, या ऑफिस रनिंग एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एंड एक्सपेंस चार्जेस हो गए, उसके लिए आता है। दैट इज योर बेसिकली रेवेन्यू रिसीट, एज अ पार्ट ऑफ द रेवेन्यू रिसीट्स। कुछ आता है जो ग्रांट्स या इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कि आपको एसेट क्रिएशन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएशन के लिए, विच आर योर कैपिटल रिसीट्स, लाइक। तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट किस लिए आपको पैसा दे रही है और किस हेड के अंदर पैसा दे रही है, आपके शहर को कितना मिल चुका है ओवर द लास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स। आपके शहर के लिए कैपिटल रिसीट्स इंक्रीज हो रही है, होना चाहिए, क्योंकि इतना सारा पैसा अब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से भी आ रहा है, एंड मे बी सम ऑफ इट माइट बी फ्लोइंग थ्रू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर ऑफ दैट। बट कितना पैसा आया है कैपिटल रिसीट्स में? पैसा ज्यादा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से आया है या एक्चुअली सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से आया है? क्योंकि अमृत, स्वच्छ भारत में इतने सारे स्कीम्स आ रहे, राइट? सो बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट। कुछ पैसा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से आएगा, ज्यादा पैसा, और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से भी कुछ आएगा, कुछ सेंट्रल फाइनेंस कमीशन का भी ग्रांट आएगा। सो दीज आर बेसिक हेड्स, राइट? एंड यू कैन यूज दिस प्रेजेंटेशन टू अंडरस्टैंड, ओके, दीज आर द बेसिक हेड्स दैट आई शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ। आपको बजट पढ़ के इसके अंदर बजट से निकालना, आप निकाल पाओ कि इतना पैसा अंडर ईच ऑफ दिस हेड्स आया है, in terms of, you know, either own revenue or in terms of your sahayata from the state government or the central government through their transfers. थर्ड, अगर मैं इंटरनेशनली भी कंपेयर करूं तो हमारे म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज के पास जो है, जो हमारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स जो है ऑफ कलेक्शन ओन रेवेन्यू, बहुत ही पुअर है। अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें, बाकी जैसे आप देखो, बार्सिलोना के पास वैट शेयर है, व्हीकल टैक्स है, कंस्ट्रक्शन टैक्स है। दिल्ली के पास सिर्फ प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स है और थोड़ा सा यूटिलिटीज टैक्स है, ठीक है। इवन अगर बीजिंग देखो, हमारी पड़ोसी चाइना का जो कैपिटल है, राइट, इवन दैट दे हैव, इवन यू नो, दे कलेक्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ द इनकम टैक्स, ठीक है, and which makes sense, right, if you are contributing so much to the GDP in a way. Now, even agar within India I compare, even then in 2017-18, the tax revenue across all my municipal corporations was only 0.22% of GDP, whereas agar main central and state taxes combined lo, which is close to 18% of GDP, right, which gives you one benchmark that, okay, where really do our municipalities, you know, stand in terms of the fiscal importance in our country, not in terms of the economic importance though. Then come, if you are just to be making you aware, especially if you are from a municipal council, right, then the smaller you go, the smaller ULBs have a much larger dependence on the transfers. They have even smaller handles and instruments of collection of their own tax revenue or their own source revenue, right? Then coming to expenditure, expenditure भी दो तरह के होते हैं, एक है कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, एक है रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर। एक्सपेंडिचर मतलब खर्चा, राइट? आपके घर के लिए, जैसे आपको अगर आपका एसी खरीदना हो, दैट्स अ कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, बट एसी रन करने के लिए आपका जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल जा रहा है वो रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर है, राइट? सिमिलरली इवन फॉर अ म्युनिसिपैलिटी, अगर आपको एक वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगाना है, जो प्लांट लगाने का खर्चा है, दैट इज द, यू आर क्रिएटिंग एन एसेट, इट इज एन एसेट फॉर यू, फॉर द म्युनिसिपैलिटी, दैट इज योर कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, और उसका चलाने का जो खर्चा है, दैट इज रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर। नाउ एक्चुअली उल्टा होना चाहिए कि कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर ज्यादा होना चाहिए, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर कम होना चाहिए, ठीक है, बट है उल्टा कि रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर हमारा ज्यादा है, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर हमारा कम है, which shows that हाँ, the space for, you know, so much anyway, you know, हमारे cities में infrastructure, basic services इतने poor है, तो this shows that the potential there is for increasing our capital expenditure. Now, I will not go into detail on the property tax collection too much, right? And there are, just be aware of the 5 stages of collection of property tax. And I would urge that if you are from a city that already has maybe the property tax contributes a large part of your municipal revenue, then be aware, you know, how is it that the enumeration is done? Who is it in your city who is paying property tax? How is the property, how much is the value of that property? How is that ascertained? कि वो प्रॉपर्टी का मूल्य एक्चुअली 10 लाख है या 50 लाख है, वो कैसे तय होता है? फिर उस पर टैक्स कितना बैठे, टैक्स रेट क्या है, कंप्यूटेशन का प्रोसेस क्या है, कैपिटल वैल्यू मेथड फॉलो होता है या कुछ और मेथड फॉलो, यूनिट एरिया मेथड फॉलो होता है, बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट। देन बिलिंग यूजुअली आजकल सभी डिजिटल होता है, राइट? बट आप उसमें भी आप असेसमेंट में, हाँ असेसमेंट में और एक चीज है जो आपकी सेल्फ असेस करते हो या नहीं, तो यू विल बी, आपको खुद ही दे देता है कि थर्ड है बिलिंग, ठीक है, कि बिलिंग कैसे होती है, एंड देन फाइनली इज द कलेक्शन ऑनलाइन। यूजुअली आजकल इट इज पेड, एवरीथिंग इज पेड ऑनलाइन, बट वन मोर थिंग व्हिच इज मिसिंग फ्रॉम दिस स्लाइड इज दैट अगर आप कोई डिफॉल्टर है, हाउ डज योर म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन, म्युनिसिपैलिटी एक्चुअली डील विद द डिफॉल्टर? Similarly, just be aware also that what are the various other, sources of revenue. It could be that your particular ULB, even within a state, if there are 5 municipal corporations, each of the 5 municipal corporations might have, different tax sources. So be aware of that. What is it your municipal corporation or municipality is actually collecting? And to sum up, this presentation will be there for you. If you are able to understand all these 9 points in the context of your particular municipality or municipal corporation, which is nothing but a summary of what all I have said till now. So I think you will have a good, understanding of the, municipal finance condition or the finance condition of your local city government. Avril, I will stop here.
Thank you for giving us a background of basics of understanding municipal finance. I know जैसे आपने बताया urban areas के लिए बहुत complex है. हमको पहले जानना होता है कि वो कॉर्पोरेशन क्या है, उसके पास फंक्शंस कितने हैं, हमारे सोर्सेज कितने, ओन सोर्सेज कितने हैं, हम कितना ग्रांट ले रहे हैं. थैंक यू फॉर दैट. एंड आपने कंटेक्स्ट सेट कर दिया है फॉर रवि टू स्पीक इन डेप्थ अबाउट द चैलेंजेस as well as the status in different states. Sir, over to you. I request कि आप हमारे participants को बताएं कि जो हमने अभी फाउंडेशन पे बात करी है उसके ऊपर में डिटेल में क्या हम और जानकारियां ले सकते हैं अपनी सिटीज के लिए. ऑल्सो व्हाट आर द की थिंग्स वी हैव टू कंसीडर अबाउट व्हाइल वी प्रिपेयर अ पॉलिसी फॉर आवर सिटीज. सो विद दैट कंटेक्स्ट आई जस्ट रिक्वेस्ट आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए टू गिव अस एन बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ओवर टू यू सर.
थैंक यू. So yes, thanks to the, am I audible and presentation?
Yes, your screen is visible. You can keep it in a full screen, then we are good to go.
Yeah. So welcome to all of you. As Devprita said, I am also associated with this initiative of Praja for last 3 years, and I also feel really very happy that so many young people are participating in this kind of exercise, because that is what we really require. Our people to know, citizens, young citizens to know that how their life is shaped by the different governments. And take my word that if you will analyze day to day your life, it is the municipal body and the local level parastatals constitute almost 70 to 75% of your life. Whether roads are there, water supply is there, all basic needs. So it is local government which is most important for our day-to-day life, for our day-to-day productivity, and for quality of the life. Of course, center and state have their different role. Devprita has set up a very good foundation. I won't be comparing much of the states, but basically I would like to tell you, because you have to do this and do the competition and participate in it, understand the basic concept of the finance. See, you are everybody in the world, the finance principles are same, whether it is a government, central level government, whether it is a World Bank, whether it is a Reliance, Tata Group, or anything. The fundamentals of the finance are same. Finance is all pervading activity, and you may be coming from any background. You may be, as Avril said, you are engineer, you may be a commerce graduate, you may be a medical student, or you may be a simple art student of any humanity subject. But we all are good finance managers. So bank on your common sense, bank on your what you can say basic understanding, which is there ingrained in your brain. So don't consider that you can't understand the finance. And finance is the key because it runs everywhere. As also in this competition, finance is a cutting across thing. You can't go away from anywhere. Except 1 or 2 exceptions, finance is the most important thing. And look, like us, institutions also go in a different phase. they are on a growth trajectory, stagnancy comes, then many times deceleration happens, or then again a revival strategy. So finance is a lifeblood of organization, and you need to understand that way. So when you are trying to understand the municipal body, the structure which Debaprita has given, that will help. And some of the points which I am saying, that will help. See, you, me, or government, everybody has a something to spend, or we have a cost, correct? Whole world starts with the cost. And for that, you need to have the resources. Whether you living your life, there is a cost. Whether municipal body providing you water supply, drainage, or solid waste management, all these services, it has a cost. And that cost is of two types, fixed and variable, and operational and capital. As she said, purchasing air conditioner is a capital expenditure, like that. Bringing new water by laying the pipelines, constructing the water treatment plant, sewage treatment plant, roads, bridges, or even constructing the compost plant for the solid waste. All this is a capital expenditure. And then to run day to day, there is a salary, there is a operation maintenance, electricity to be paid. Like us, government or any form of organization has a cost of doing whatever they are providing. They may be providing you service, they may be generating something, producing something. So operating expenditure includes the salary, administration, operation, their program, interest payment if you have taken loan. So what you need to do when you try to analyze municipal bodies, your municipal body's finances, when you go through the budget, try to segregate what exactly is the cost it is. Then naturally, for mitigating that cost, you require resources. And always remember, whether governments are not there to make the profit, but where government must have surplus, because it is the surplus which helps government to create the capital infrastructure, because from where the money will come. You may say that government may borrow, but if you borrow, again, you need to repay that loan. You need to pay interest. So you need revenue. And that revenue comes in case of government, in case of ourselves, whatever service we provide, either we do job or we provide services. From there it comes, and then we manage our life. Similarly, when it comes to the government, little bit different. In corporate sector, whatever they are producing or rendering the service, there will be a price for the unit or the service they have provided to the people. We pay that price, get that thing produced. And that way that corporate sector or the organization gets the money. When it comes to the government, there are taxes. Taxes are there because government, like a market, is not able to assign per unit cost. Say, providing defense, that is called public goods, defense or street light. Now, municipality is providing you street light. How I should charge you street light? So there is a property tax, because I can't use the market mechanism of pricing you, because I'm not able to decide how much you are consuming and what should be priced for per unit. So these are these complexities. So human civilization created the instrument of the tax. Then there are fees. Of course, municipal bodies charge water charge. So sometimes it is not only tax, sometimes wherever service is quantifiable, consumption is quantifiable, I am able to identify how much I have sold you. Government can always go for the price, but it is called user charge. So all in all, what you have to remember is that your revenue receipts or your operating receipt coming from the services you have provided, price you have charged, or user charge you have charged, or taxes you have charged, that should be more than revenue. The expenditure, operating expenditure you are supposed to carry, and that surplus will be available. How we construct our house, we save from our salary. How we purchase any capital goods in our house, whether fridge, whether car, whether this two-wheeler or AC, anything we purchase because we had a surplus, that is revenue minus expenditure, there is a surplus. I'm not saying profit. Profit happens in the corporate sector, but you must have surplus. And that surplus one will utilize for creating the infrastructure. Now, being municipal bodies at a lower level of the government, they have limitations in raising the taxes. Also, autonomy has to be given by the higher level government. And if higher level government hasn't given autonomy, then higher level government need to give them the grants. because otherwise how they will provide the service, correct? If there is a not, and then water supply, solid waste management, underground drainage system, street light, these are the social services where like a market you can't charge to the people. Your motive is not profit, your motive is to provide the service. So in such circumstances, the pricing is not high. So municipal bodies naturally will have a deficit between the expenditure incurred and the taxes charged to the people or the user charged to the people. So there is a deficit, inherent deficit, because the nature of the goods is public goods. And then to mitigate that, higher level governments give grants. So you need to understand, as earlier speaker have explained you, what is their resource, what is their cost, how much they are spending on a fixed cost, how much they are spending on variable cost. That together makes the operating cost or day-to-day O&M cost. From there, how much is the revenue, or deficit, surplus or deficit, and then from where that money is coming. How much is the grant received? Grant can be of two types, capital grants and the revenue grant. Revenue grant is basically to mitigate the deficit or the difference between the cost and the revenue which municipal bodies have. And capital is that basically if the revenue surplus is not much, then how the city will develop. So government also collects income tax, sales tax or GST from you. So from there a certain share is given, not directly power is given, but share is given. That is called devolution mechanism or intergovernmental fiscal transfer, where government transfers money to the local government. Coming with that introduction, see, in our life we do, and every organization has to take the three decisions. First decision is investment. Whether you are starting a business, whether you are producing something, or you are providing service, there will be a cost, and that cost has to be minimized. So you have to, like you and me or corporate sector, municipal body has to decide where to invest, whether to invest in water supply, whether to invest in education, because rupee is fungible, finance is fungible. Hazaro ख्वाहिश है इसी हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले. So there are so many demands or needs, and resources are scarce. So you have to do prioritization, and that prioritization has to be such because so that you maximize the benefit at a minimum possible cost. We all do in our life. We have so many priorities, so many demands, but we prioritize. We take a stock of what resources we have. Then we decide that if I will spend money on education, my capacity to earn more will increase. Or should I spend on the luxury? Or should I purchase a house? All that is an investment decision. Same is the confrontation, or same is the challenge in terms of the municipal. So when you will be looking as a mayor, that is the confrontation, whether to invest rupee in a water supply, or to invest in a drainage, or to invest in a slum areas. Then how that comes entire thing of a allocation and reallocation of the capital. You must have seen companies start a new business, develop it. After some time, you will find company selling its one of its part of business. So continuously you have to examine which is giving you fair return, which is not giving fair return. Of course, that liberty is not much available with the municipal bodies. You have to provide water supply, you have to do the roads, you have to provide these. Then comes financing decisions. Investment means the cost, that is the money you require, then from where to raise it. Again, while raising the money, you need to three things. You must have adequate money, you must have liquid money, means available at the time when you want, and it must be at least cost, means you must be paying much less amount or minimum amount. So money need to be raised at a minimum possible cost so that your total cost of investment will be low. And finally, if you achieve a surplus, what we do when we have a surplus, either we go for a tour, we go for a purchase of the new things, or we just invest into mutual fund or something. So in our life also, we take these dividend decisions. When we have surplus money, we try to decide what we can do. Similarly, municipal body or any government, when they have surplus, they can decide to increase the quality of the infrastructure, quantity of the infrastructure, or may may go for commercial ventures so that it can earn little bit more for the future welfare activities, or it can reduce the taxes also. So having explained you that, now let's come back to she has already explained, but this is the structure. There will be always an opening balance with municipal, how to read municipal accounts or budget. See, there will be always an opening account, opening balance. The way you and me have. In the morning, we have in pocket 100 rupees. Then during the day, we get 500 rupees. We spend 300 rupees. At the end, there will be a closing balance. Then as we know that there will be tax revenue, there will be non-tax revenue. See, there is no bar by doing commercial activities by the municipal board. For example, it can construct a amusement park and charge people, or it can develop the shops and the real estate real estate property, and that can sell it, rent it out. So sky is the limit for non-tax revenue. Correct? Usually municipal bodies lack capacity, so they fail to tap the way private sector taps other vocations of the earning money. Then revenue grant comes in from the higher level government. Then own capital receipts are there, means from receipt coming from your own assets. See, municipal bodies get land by way of urban planning, or sometimes they construct the assets, they have certain developmental rights, they charge you development charge when you develop a new building or something. So that's their capital receipt. Municipal bodies can borrow. If they have surplus, then any organization will be happy to provide them a loan. What is most important is that you have to have a surplus and you have to have capacity to repay the interest and installments of the borrowing you have done. Then there will be capital grants. For example, Smart City Mission provides the capital grant. PMY is there, Prime Minister Awas Yojana, then Amrut is there. Under these all schemes, Government of India and the state governments under their own schemes. So you need to find out from where you are getting capital grants for constructing the water supply treatment plant or constructing sewage treatment plant. Then there will be certain extraordinary receipts, which are means the money which comes to you but doesn't belong to you. Suppose somebody has paid deposit for getting water connection. The day he cancels the water connection, you have to repay that deposit, or there is an earnest money deposit paid by, security deposit paid by the contractor. So just only to explain you, extraordinary receipts are those which is not income for the municipal bodies, and similarly extraordinary payments is that which is not a, sorry, here there is a mistake on expenditure side, it's a extraordinary payments, correct? Then salary expenditure, operation maintenance expenditure, loan interest, remember loan repayment is a capital expenditure, not into the revenue account. Then capital expenditure is that where you construct the road, water supply, and you need to do a capital budgeting. You need to plan, correct? We may not do budget as an individual. It is back of my mind that, okay, if I will get surplus, I will do this. Or next month, I will get this much salary and I have to pay these expenses. So sometimes we also prepare our budget when there is a marriage or some big family function. We do make a budget, small budget, but otherwise it is back of mind. We mentally do that, but it is not the case with the government. It has a legal authorization. It has to be a public document. So you will find in each and every municipal body there is a budget document, and budget document will not have any item outside these main heads. So this is a structure you can use to analyze their municipal budget. I won't go into this because Devaprita has collected, but these are the sources in Indian Constitution which are actually the state sources, but state can delegate them to, or states have delegated them through their municipal acts to the municipal bodies. This is the resource structure if we put it. See, there are certain conventional resources, tax, non-tax, or as sale of assessment, assets or investment. Government loans can come. Transfers means the capital grants we saw, revenue grants. But nowadays we are talking of a non-conventional resources for municipal bodies. See, municipal bodies, so long as there is a financial viability, so long as there is a revenue surplus, enough revenue, they can go to any bank, they can go to even any institution, financial institution, commercial bank, to get the loans, and municipal bodies in India are doing that. Pricing mechanism, yes, usually it is a user charge, means for water supply, but if suppose municipal body runs an amusement park, out and out a commercial activity, or construct a very high-end international convention center, it should rent it out at a market rent. It should earn somewhere to have surplus. So you can think of such commercial projects for your city when you are preparing your report for the challenge or your case study for the challenge. Municipal bodies can go to the raise the municipal bonds, can raise the debt instrument, and actually municipal acts allow that they can set up a special purpose vehicle. Very recently, all 100 smart cities have set up a company, that is a smart city company, at the moment, which has a equity from the state government and the city. But even the guideline for that SPV also says that maximum equity, foreign equity, outside equity, people equity can be taken up to 48%. So 26% of municipality, 26% of state government, and 48% can be raised from the market. Now, at the moment, looking to the performance, and because we don't trust, we don't know municipal bodies, we know more about the Tata or Reliance or any other corporate sector than our municipal body. So naturally, people won't invest into equity, and naturally, we invest into equity to get the dividend, that is the return. So if enough return is guaranteed or people feel secure, it won't be difficult for municipal body to raise the equity also. Also, there can be a public-private partnership. You know, Bombay and Delhi airports have been done with the public-private partnership. We are doing highways with the public-private partnership. All over the world, even in urban infrastructure, public-private partnership is possible. Municipal bodies, through planning mechanism, urban planning mechanism, do get a land. Also, there is a government land, so they can use it as a resource for real estate development, for improving their revenue. So you can look at your city, whether it has a land, whether that renewal of the purpose can be done. Many examples are there. In foreign, some cities, there was earlier when city was small, there was a big jail in the center of the city. The land price went up. So simply that municipal body shifted that or government shifted that jail out on the outskirts of the city, and that land was commercially sold. So various techniques can be utilized, and then participating with the people, that is the social capital, correct? By which also municipal bodies in modern time can raise the funds. This presentation is going to be with you, and Debaprita has covered many aspects of it. As she showed that in India, there is no local income tax, local excise, advertisement tax, even octroi, which used to be there, has gone because of the GST. So only professional tax to some extent in some states, and property tax all over the India is with the municipal bodies. Tax on vehicles also mainly go to the state government, but there is a small component of it at a municipal body. Certain states, particularly in Maharashtra, there is a special benefit tax that can be levied. And then other aspects, you know, this presentation will be there. You can use that for verifying about what kind of resources your municipal body is having, how much it is getting from each of that resource, what can be done to improve the resource collection, correct? And where it is spending, how much it is spending. You may feel that your city is spending adequately on water supply, but not on the roads. All those analysis you can do. Different types of grants you receive. You don't have to go in that much detail. This is only for your knowledge to keep with you. But there are certain untied grants. There are tied grants which are come from the under Smart City Mission or Amrut, where purpose is fixed. While revenue grants come from the State Finance Commission and Central Finance Commission also. Capital grants come from the State Finance Commission, state government, and Central Finance Commission. Grants sometimes are formula based, sometimes they are non-formula based, sometimes they require matching. That is, means we will give you 80 rupees, but municipal body will have to put in 20 rupees. For example, in Smart City Mission, central government said that we will give you 50%, but state government will have to put 25%, and urban local body to get that grant will have to put 25%. So it can be different. It can be presented graphically this way. Usually this way in any state, the revenue comes to the municipal bodies. You can see at the bottom, there is a ULB. It will have its own sources, but as she rightly said, 20% comes from own sources and 80% come from external sources in India. And there are multilateral agencies like World Bank, ADB, IFC. They also provide loans. Then there are certain donor agencies. They provide grant. Then there are central government schemes. There is a centrally sponsored scheme. Central schemes are there. Central Finance Commission devolution is there. Then state government. Of course, the graph will be different in different states. Arrangement will be, but the layers and the levels will be same. So municipal bodies get funds from national, international, state level, and then there are different parastatals which are created, which monitor release of the funds and all that. So this is the structure you can see. Borrowing powers municipal bodies have, municipal corporations have higher borrowing powers, municipal bodies have lesser, and town panchayat. But technically, with the permission of the state government, if municipal body has capacity, it can raise the loan. Correct? And if you have a capacity, then naturally another person, any agency would be ready to give you the loan. Correct? Alternative sources of financing we saw, but we again can present it. They can go for the loans to the different fees. Community participation can be there. Private sector participation. Pricing methodology can be utilized. Correct? And they can go to the capital market also. This is the basic budget structure. As earlier I shared, these we call as the accounting head. Correct? For example, electricity. Electricity is a O&M expenditure, but electricity is used by all these departments, and these departments are called functional budgeting or functions. She referred earlier, Devapritaji, that there are 18 functions. Correct? But you have to see which functions are there. These are not 18, but mainly those 18 functions include these and some additional functions. So municipal bodies, if you will look at the budget of the Pune Municipal Corporation, Ahmedabad, or mainly Maharashtra and Gujarat, then you will find maximum functions with the municipal bodies. Correct? When you go to some other state, there may not be some functions with the municipal bodies. So municipal bodies expenditure is done on these functions: general administration, land development, street light. These are its object clause. So it is called object clause. And subject means, for example, electricity is used by water supply department, fire department, street light department, sewerage, water supply. So everybody utilizes the electricity. Or salary, every department has staff and employees, and it has to pay the salary. So always accounting heads are cross-cutting and functional heads. So there is a matrix relationship between these heads. And this is the ideal budget structure. Your municipal body may not have this kind of an ideal budget structure. Correct? Government of India also has 3 types of budget: revenue budget, capital budget, and extraordinary receipts. Within the revenue budget, there will be receipts and payment. And those receipts and payment means, revenue budget means year. Tax revenue, non-tax, and grant is the revenue. And revenue expenditure means expenditure on salary, expenditure on maintenance, expenditure on loan charges. So this is the revenue budget, receipt and payment. Then their capital budget can have 3 parts, or it can be single budget. As I said, capital resources can be owned from own sources. There can be a new loans taken by a municipal body and a capital grant received from higher level government. So revenue grant will go in revenue budget, and capital grants would go in capital budget. And then there will be receipt and payment of each. Again, you can refer back. Here are those items. In capital, there will be this item, and extraordinary means deposit received, or there may be different funds created. So this is the structure you can use. Always remember, you are a good finance manager. Use your common sense. The way you manage your finances, only manifestation is different. There will be different terminology, but at the core financial principle is same, that every organization has to incur cost for surviving, for running its business, and for developing. And that cost leads to the investment decision. Then for mitigating that cost, every organization has to raise the resources, has to raise the revenue. And that revenue is a financing decision. As a mayor, as a corporator, you are confronted whether to increase the tax or increase the user charge, or to ask more grant from the higher level government. What to do? Because you need money. You can't continue on a deficit. For 1-2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you can have deficit from here and there. You will manage getting funds. You may take some loans, but there is an end to that. You will be bankrupt. So continuously, you will have to raise the resources to mitigate your cost. And then whatever is the surplus has to be there if you want to access the non-conventional sources, if you want to leverage the money. And that would again have a higher cost in the form of interest and loan repayment. So your revenue surplus must be capable of mitigating that. There will be some capital grants at a municipal level because you serve public services and that may come from, but how to utilize that grant best way? What commercial activities you can take to raise additional resources for doing the business? These are the all points you can look. I will stop for here and we will be available for the question answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. आपकी explanation clear, and I believe this both the presentation gave us a very good idea about now about understanding about city government, more specifically on municipal finance. I know I have a very tough job to ask about couple of questions because you have summarized everything. हमने दोनों presentations में ही हमने सारे basics को समझा, हमने क्या-क्या चीजें ध्यान रखनी है उसको भी समझा. But I have couple of questions for you. I request participants, अगर आपके पास भी कोई questions है, you can post in the Q&A box as well. सर आपने जैसे कहा कि देवव्रत ने कहा कि बहुत सारे challenges है कि own sources हमारा 20% है, state grants के हम depend कर रहे हैं. So the major thing is अगर हम इसका एक solution की ओर बात करें. So what are the two key components you suggest our participant to keep in mind while they prepare for their respective cities? जब वो प्रपोज करें, क्योंकि अभी तक हमने देखा वो पहला चीज होगा कि उनके एग्जिस्टिंग सिनेरियो क्या है उनके सिटीज में, उनके सोर्सेस क्या हैं, ओन सोर्सेस क्या हैं, नॉन टैक्स नॉन टैक्स के क्या सोर्सेस हैं, एक्सपेंडिचर कैसे हो रहे हैं. बट अब उनको प्रपोज करना है तो व्हाट आर द टू थिंग उनको ध्यान रखना चाहिए जब while they are preparing for their respective cities? Can we start with Ravikant sir, you, and then Devavita ji? Yeah, please sir.
Very short. First, when they do where they are, what we do when we look into our finances, we find out where is the weakness. So though we didn't discuss, there is a fact that yes, municipal bodies have less resources, but they are not optimized. We are recovering only 25% of the property tax potential. Correct? So what they need to look, where I can improve my own resources. See, if you have raised 2 rupees more, you can go to the higher level government. Look, I have improved. Now give me additional money. So first set your house in order, do a detailed analysis and find out where inefficiency can be removed. Inefficiency can be in delivery of the service, means your cost can be higher. See, cost is the final frontier in the world. You can't wipe out the cost. You can mitigate the cost. You can minimize the cost by improving the inefficiency. So be cost efficient, be efficient in raising the resources which you have. You have less resources, that is a fact. But you are not utilizing them, optimizing them is also a fact. So find out that. And third, I see what could be the commercial options. Correct? You and me can think of an alternative raising finances. There are optimal opportunities. Let me give you an example. We sell water, all municipal bodies sell water at 10 paisa per liter, while we purchase water bottle at 15 rupees per liter. And municipal bodies supply water to the city in billions of MGD. For example, Pune supplies 1400 MLD, millions liters per day. They can manage Bisleri plant. In fact, they are supplying more water than Bisleri. But no city has entered into commercial venture. So there is a 1000% higher profit. Correct? So you have to come with such innovative ideas. Correct? As I said, there is no limitation. There is no limitation on going for commercial activities, provided you have capacity, you have that kind of a professionalism.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Devavita, anything to add on, Ravikant sir, please?
I think sir has very well explained it. Let's move to the next question.
Yes. So जैसे आपने कहा सर, पहला चीज है ऑप्टिमाइज हमको करना कि जितना भी हम ले रहे हैं उसको ही हम मैक्सिमम करें. बट देयर आर कपल ऑफ इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चंस जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने जस्ट रेज किए हैं Q&A में. क्या हमारे पास ऐसे एग्जांपल्स हैं सिटीज के जो बेटर परफॉर्म कर रही हैं in terms of budgeting as well, in terms of their revenue generation as well. क्या हमारे पास ऐसे कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं ताकि हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स उनको देख सकें. ऑल्सो एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन आया विच आई अप्रिशिएट कि हम कैसे अर्बन इकोनॉमिक्स या सिटीज में सिटीजन पार्टिसिपेशन को देखते हैं और उसका इंपॉर्टेंस कहते हैं. क्या हमारे सिटीजन्स का अवेयरनेस पे इम्पैक्ट होता है, क्या हम रेवेन्यू जनरेशन पे, इज देयर अ लिंक? क्या हम रेवेन्यू जनरेशन और सिटीजन पार्टिसिपेशन को लिंक कर सकते हैं? दैट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन. आई रिक्वेस्ट both of you to answer. Maybe we'll start with Debarpita ji, you to start, and then we'll request Ravikant sir to add, please. So
one of the key, see, basic services, अगर आपको पानी गंदा मिल रहा है तो आप उसके लिए पे नहीं करना चाहेंगे, राइट? तो आपका यूजर चार्ज जो है कम हो जाता है. तो एट द सेम टाइम अगर आप जाके अपने म्युनिसिपल बॉडी को बोले, इफ यू गो एंड टेल योर म्युनिसिपल बॉडी दैट दिस इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर दैट आई एम गेटिंग, and make an effort to rather correct that rather than arranging from water tankers from outside, as a collective, from your neighborhood, from your colony, over time municipal corporation will hear you out. Because trust me, the people who are managing, who are working for the municipal corporation, the right, from the officers who are there to the karmacharis who are working there, nobody really wants to do a shoddy job, right? That will is there. If you go across municipal corporations or ULBs across our country, so but they say that if the citizen does not come to us, how would we know that what the problem is and how do we rectify it? In our in my colony we have a very, very active RWA, and yes, things have improved over the past few years. It becomes easier for the government if you participate, if you voice your concerns, and that of course over time will have an impact on the revenue generation. Similarly, coming to property tax, user charges, for example, Ravisan sir said that street light, how do you pay for the street light? How does the municipal corporation take money? The municipal corporation takes money for putting up the street light, for the electricity the street light consumes through your property tax. If your neighborhood has good level of services, then over time, as your city grows, more people will want to come and stay in your neighborhood. The demand for property in your neighborhood will increase. So will the property prices. So will the property tax which is being paid. Right? So of course, citizen participation has a very direct link to revenue generation. And the more aware of you are as a citizen, write op-eds, go and talk to your municipal representatives, write blogs. You will see that over time, things do improve.
Yes, sir, anything to add on Debarpita ji?
Yeah. Means I agreeing with her, I will add additional point is that government also need to invite people to participate. She is absolutely right. The citizens need to articulate and tell what is wrong, what needs to be improved, should communicate. That is the preference revelation, we call it in economics. But similarly, it does good to share the problems. If suppose municipal body as a mayor, you really put forward your issues, the problems you faced with the people, correct? People will definitely then be more sympathetic to you, will understand more. But for that, what is most important is that you should not be inefficient. You should be able. So government has to be efficient, cost efficient. And then government should share what really is the problem. See, every time you must have seen in public participation, say beach cleaning on the Mumbai. When government asked for the people help, or in Swachh Bharat Mission, we saw how many people participated across the India. So if government comes and requests people and creates a modalities for participation, people do participate, correct? And then it will be easy to share. See, it is like father sharing the problem. If he carries the burden on him of financing, the children won't know. They may go on spending or they may be unaware of it. But so onus also lies on government to invite the people to participate, to be more transparent, to be more efficient, and sharing it with the these. As you ask, which are the best municipal bodies? My frank opinion is that compared to the world standard, all Indian bodies are failing. But among that, those who are passing out are certain top municipal corporations, mainly they come from Gujarat, Maharashtra, because right from the beginning, they have higher autonomy, more resources. They have very traditional or right from the pre-independence time, better administration system. The legacy is there, good legacy is there, better economic base. Of course, there are other corporations also like Bangalore, Chennai, or your Calcutta or Delhi, and other some which come into it. But mostly it is from Gujarat and Maharashtra because higher autonomy, more resources, more willingness to pay, more willingness to charge. For example, Bombay per capita municipal tax is 20 times than the Lucknow or any other North Indian city. Correct? And people are paying. Now, naturally, when you get more money, you become more accountable. Because when you are taxing people at an appropriate rate, people will be more concerned what you are doing with my money. If you don't charge them, there will be wastage of urban services. The real right is to charge appropriately to provide appropriate quality of a service. Correct? So, minimum is not correct. Maximum is the thing. Charge people adequately, provide them the good quality, charge them adequately. Non-charging is not a solution.
Yes, that's a valid point, sir. And I can see बहुत सारे questions in the chat box as well. I'm happy to answer, but हमारे पास थोड़ा सा time का constraint है. मैं quickly read कर लेता हूँ questions को और एक question या दो question लेने की कोशिश करता हूँ. We have a question from Kalyani. What are the potential existing cities to generate the economic and contribute toward the national GDP? So that's a very valid question. और तक ये समझ में आ रहा है कि हम कैसे अपने cities को ऐसे strengthen कर सकें. How efficient can policy framework influence the performance of the city in the finance? By Kalyani again. That's a like interesting question to answer. कैसे policies impact करती हैं हमारे then Akash asks, how do we realistically include participatory involvement of citizens in municipal finance? I hope हमने answer किया आपने जब अपने points रखे तो. Then again we have question from Neelu Khosla that interesting, as a municipal corporation of big city always has a deficit of some sort. How as a mayor of a city, how can they manage it? So as an elected representative, अगर है चले, I hope ये answer भी हमने किया, आपने कहा prioritize कर सकते हैं जो existing है, उसके ऊपर में हम बात कर सकते हैं. We have question from Ujjwal talking about the outcome budgeting. Outcome budgeting क्या है, वो क्या scope हो सकता है और उसको हम कैसे improve कर सकते हैं revenue generation के लिए. That's again a question for better understanding. Is there any technology in the modern scenario to shape the future of municipal finance and decision making processes? I hope हमने ये भी discussion किया है कि कैसे हम citizen participation, हम कैसे technology को use कर सकते हैं. कुछ corporations budget making process में suggestions भी लेते हैं, तो वो हमने already answer किया है. I hope this is already answered. Yeah, so just to summarize and adding one more point to this, मेरे दो specific question है ताकि participants ये समझ सकें. We are looking at cities as cities of economic growth, but whether we are ready to for that, the first question. I hope आज के discussion के बाद में जब participants अपने cities में जाएंगे और अपने budgets को देखेंगे तो उनको पता चलेगा कि हम expenditure ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं और income कम है हमारी, या उसके understanding होगी. तो उसके लिए solution क्या है? What are the two key major takeaways to prepare our cities for future in terms of finance? Second thing, जैसे हमने कहा क्या tools हो सकते हैं important जो help करेंगे इस दिशा में बढ़ने के लिए ताकि हम strengthen कर सके अपने urban economy को और cities को better तरीके से govern कर सके. I know this is two questions, but मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग quickly दोनों points पे answer करें. Should I start with Ravikant sir, please, and then Devavita, you can continue. Yeah.
See, it is not like that all cities are in deficit. Definitely, there are 30-35 cities in India which are in surplus. correct? And huge revenue surplus. Other cities also can come. Not every city can come because it depends on economic base and other things. But yes, definitely there is a big scope to improve. And as I earlier explained, you need to do where we are, why we are there, what are the shortcomings, how we can improve our cost efficiency on expenditure side. See, if you are spending 2 rupees in place of 1 rupee, you can't raise money in the world, correct? You have to plug the leaking bucket. So you need to first ensure cost efficiency in your expenditure side, and then you need to optimize whatever resources you have by using the technology, IT technology, and other technology, everything to improve it. Then naturally you will come out of the deficit, unless until there is a structural or fundamental deficit because of the economic base of the city and other aspects. But this is the recipe. What we do in our life, we prioritize our expenditure. We try to be. हम क्यों 10 दुकान घूमते हैं कपड़ा खरीदने के लिए? To save 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 100 rupees. So rupee saved is a rupee generated. That need to be remembered. And secondly, our cities at the moment are not preparing economic development plan or corporate plan or business plan. Foreign cities, every year they prepare their business plan or corporate plan like a company. For example, there is one city, it has a land and there is a possibility of medical tourism. It should invite all the big hospitals, super specialty to set up there. So such kind of a economic development thinking is not there. At the moment, our cities are service agents. Our municipal bodies are only service agents. How I will bring more water, how I will supply water more equitably with the pressure, or how I will take care of the solid waste management. So entire focus and thinking is on a service delivery and not the economic development. And therefore, our cities are not acting as an engine of growth. Though they are happening, by default they are happening because there will be industry, there will be business, people doing, but not the municipal bodies are doing that. So that economic planning aspect has to come into it, and that would require a lot of professionalism, a lot of experts working on it. If you are mayor, you will have to take experts from your city, from outside to involve them, study your entire finances, study entire economic geography of your city. What could be the business? The way you will do economic understanding and survey if you want to start a new business, you want to set up an industry, you will do all that. Similarly, you have to do what are my strengths of my city? Where I can get the economic growth for my city? And if each city becomes a economic growth engine of economic growth, whole India will benefit.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Debabrata, please, you can add.
Yeah, one very small point to add to this. I think it's a brilliant idea that, sir said that think of the city government. The city government should think of the resources that it has at its disposal, and the state government should actually push the city government. And maybe even the government of India can, now the 16th Finance Commission is going to be formed. So along with, that, okay, property tax has to grow at the rate of your state domestic product, and, there has to be, the air quality has to be monitored. Maybe this is the, completely fresh and innovative line of thinking that can be actually, brought into that. What if our city governments started, thinking like if the Delhi International Airport, the Mumbai International Airport, they are also service agencies. If they can monetize their land assets, right? And it's benefiting. We love, going to the airport maybe, half an hour in advance or 1 hour in advance, because I want to just, window shop maybe. Similarly, why not can the cities like, in Delhi, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi has this huge Bharat Ghars, which are in, absolute shambles at absolute prime locations of the city. Why can't they be spruced up, right? So another thing that, you as participants should be aware of, please do, go and visit the Municipal Corporation and understand what is their staffing, how many people work there, what is the various kind of functions that they do. And then the business plan that, Ravikant sir mentioned, it will become, easier to give weight to that, to structure that better. That even in terms of, human capital resources, what more would the cities need to become, viable financial city governments, for the city governments to become viable financial entities.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope आपके मैं conclusion ये last comment से मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. इस बार का प्रजातंत्र का थीम हमने इनको दिया है ताकि ये सोच सके अपनी cities को to think about cities as economic engines, ताकि वो पॉलिसीज फ्रेमवर्क. आई नो एट प्रेजेंट हमारे पास ये पावर नहीं है, सिटी गवर्नमेंट के पास कई जगहों पे ऐसी पावर नहीं है, बट इस कंपटीशन के थ्रू वी वांटेड पार्टिसिपेंट टू थिंक अबाउट आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स, थिंक अबाउट सिटीज कि कैसे वो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, एंड पैरेलली वो डेवलप करेंगे अपनी कैपेसिटीज को, रेवेन्यू जनरेशन को. तो आज की इस कन्वर्सेशन ने हमको ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग जरूर दे दी है टू प्रिपेयर फॉर देयर कॉम्पिटिशंस. I know there are a lot of questions coming up, but yeah, I'll just now stop here. But we'll take all these questions, and if required, we will email you the questions, and we will definitely be in touch with you to always to get your insights about the competition again. With that, I just wanted to thank Ravikant sir, you as well as Varpita ji, to be a part of Prajatantra. It's been a continuous engagement, and आपने जो आज की डिस्कशन में हमको बताई है म्युनिसिपल फाइनेंस के कंपोनेंट्स के बारे में, जो बेसिक्स बताया है, आई होप ये सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स के उनके अलग अलग कॉम्पिटिशन जिसमें वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं उसमें प्रिपरेशन में हेल्प करेंगे. ऑल्सो जब ये प्रेजेंटेशन प्रिपेयर करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि आज जो हमने कुछ आइडियाज दिए हैं पार्टिसिपेंट्स को, वो कितने खूबसूरती से उसको अपने अपने सिटीज में इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. So we again welcome you to let's say look after the final presentations after the competition again. But with that, I on behalf of Prajatantra team, Praja Foundation, National Institute of Urban Affairs and UN Habitat, I thank you all participants to patiently look let's say listening our speakers. I know municipal finance one of the topic जो हम कम सुनना चाहते हैं, जैसे सर ने कहा हम बहुत सारे चीजें नहीं जानते अपने फाइनेंसेस के बारे में. तो thank you for being a part of this discussion. Thank you Ravikant sir, thank you Devapada ji for being a part of Prajatantra. We again welcome you and host you soon in the Prajatantra 2023 event. With that, I wanted to close this session and thank you to the organizing team as well for organizing this knowledge session successfully. With that, I'll just conclude and close the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to the organizers and all the best to the participants.
Yes,
definitely.